Hi everyone. Well, look, I hope you had the chance to thank a volunteer last week during National Volunteer Week. And if not, why not make that an action for yourself this week? Look, I had the opportunity to attend some more annual report presentations over the last week, highlighting the wonderful activities that our young people are leading, assisting and participating in. And that is great to see and hear about those adventures and successes. But if I could again offer just that one suggestion for you to consider, because I've noted that we're using lots of scouting terminology within our ARPs, things like SIAs and milestones. And while scouting members and families may understand those terms, members of the public or our politicians or other invited guests might have no idea what we're talking about. So if we could all take the time to call out our acronyms such as special interest areas or what a milestone is, that may help increase the knowledge of what was achieved by our youth members. And don't forget the link to my ARP video, if I can't get to your group, is below. Just a reminder to all Queensland applicants for AJ 2025 that by now you should have paid your deposit and your first payment to the contingent. And that's really important because that allows the contingent to pay and book things like flights and buses and the other components to get us all to the Jamboree. And I appreciate that the final payments are not due until later in the year, but the payment schedule is important in us managing the engagement of the suppliers for the Queensland contingent. So group leaders, can I please ask you to get in touch and make sure that everyone is up to date with their payments? And should families require some support, there's an email address below where they can get in touch if they require some support with those payments. Last weekend, I attended the Chief Commissioners Council meeting in Sydney, and that meeting had a focus on growth and retention initiatives, and there were also other interesting concepts that are being used in other branches. Over the weekend, the topics included risk management, our adult recognition awards, a review of the Governor-General's camp, the national membership fees and the payment structures that go with those. We talked about child safety, Scouts Terrain and the Youth Program Survey, and I provided an update on AJ 2025 for all the Chief Commissioners. So that council is not a decision-making body, but seeks to influence our national team on the various items and issues that we discuss, which might impact on policy. And it's also great to catch up with my fellow Chief Commissioners to get a better understanding of how their branches are functioning. You may remember that earlier this year we introduced the Smiley Face app for use by leaders to get a feel for the success or otherwise of the program activity. And last week I provided some highlights of the success of this tool. And there were 7 test events and we had a really great success rate of those activities, up to 79% rated as okay through to awesome. So if you'd like to use this tool, it's readily available and the link is below. I've mentioned previously about the transition of our mandatory training modules, our child safe scouting and our workplace health and safety, migrating to 2 yearly cycles instead of the current 3-year cycles. And this was introduced in mid-2024, and we now have confirmation that changeover date is going to be the 18th of June. So there is an article below which highlights these changes, and you'll be receiving some correspondence in early June if this change impacts your current expiry date for when these modules are brought forward to 2024 calendar year. I hope you have a fantastic week and good scouting.